I want to welcome everyone to what I think is a very exciting program, How to Conduct and Publish Research. Essentially, our goal is to take you down the research path from A to Z. And let me just point out now, before I forget, that the application deadline is May 15th. So it's coming up, and all you have to do is go to this website, GEEI dot. Oh, I'm sorry, it's .org. So it's GEEI.org, org.com, and I would like to encourage you to hit the Apply Now button and make an application. So why are we putting on this program? What's our mission? Our mission is to develop and nurture a community of diverse individuals committed to alleviating suffering in the world. And what do I mean by that? Well, essentially, I mean that research is considered a social institution. It's very pivotal in enhancing the health of the citizens of a country. It's supposed to also research advance equity in globally, if not only in the country as well. And it's supposed to enhance social justice, meaning that the concept is that all countries should have as much as possible equal outcomes when it comes to health. And again, one of the ways to do that is by research and investigating treatments for illnesses and mechanisms of illnesses. And again, our mission is to develop a community of diverse individuals committed to doing the research. So in order to do this, our specific aims are shown in this slide. First, we start out by developing a research proposal. Again, let me say that this program consists of 3 different blocks. And we start out by trying to develop a research question, that addresses a gap in knowledge, followed by generating a hypothesis and scientific objectives, and choosing an appropriate methodology to address the objectives. So people who are searching for a research project, searching for a research question, could enter the program right from the start, and we'll take you through the steps that's involved in developing a research question that is aiming to fill a gap in knowledge in your society. After we have the proposal, developed the scientific objectives, and have chosen an appropriate methodology, then we want to begin the process of conducting the research, which includes recruitment strategies, informed consent, data collection and entry, and the use of appropriate statistical tests. And if you're doing qualitative research, then the use of coding analysis. So we are targeting people who are interested in quantitative research, qualitative research, and also if you're working in the lab, we're here to help you conduct your research as well and analyze the data that has been generated in your research. So, and then the next step is that once you have all these data that are analyzed, we will help you write the research paper, including now the results section, discussion section, conclusion section, and then we would help you publish your research. So again, you could enter the program right from the beginning if you want to start to develop your research question. If you have your proposal, then you could enter in the second block, and we would help you conduct the research and analyze the data. If you have your project done already and you have the analysis, then we could help you structure your paper and try to publish that research. So essentially, the sequence of the program in very short sentences is develop the research question, conduct the research, and then publish the manuscript. And essentially, that's what I mean by research from A to Z. So two important competencies we would like to stress in this program, and that includes scientific writing and critical thinking. What I want to stress is that throughout this whole program, right from the beginning, right to the end, we're going to concentrate on good scientific writing skills and critical thinking skills, because these competencies are necessary for all these steps of doing research. Developing the research proposal requires good scientific writing and critical thinking skills. Conducting the research and analyzing the research requires good scientific writing and critical thinking skills. And analyzing your paper and discussing your paper and publishing your paper also requires good scientific writing skills and critical thinking skills. So these two competencies we will concentrate throughout the whole program. And the major outcome of this program is either a publication or grant submission. We will stick with you even after the year to try to get your paper published, or if you joining the program because you want to use your research to apply for a grant, we will help you with that as well. That is the major outcome of this training program. So, some important dates to remember. Again, the application deadline is May 15th of this year. Somewhat of a soft deadline, meaning that if you need until May 17th or 18th, that will be fine. The first workshop, the program begins on July 10th. It's a 4-day workshop. It will be held virtually because of the COVID pandemic. And we hope to hold 2 additional workshops, the second one in December in Cairo, and the last one next year held in Dubai. That is our plans. If there are issues about transportation, we will deal with that on an individual basis. These are the important dates. Now, this slide shows our wonderful faculty. You can tell they're wonderful. They're all smiling. On the right-hand side is our writing specialist, Isabel May. I know I have a lot of you people online, so feel free to wave when I announce your name. So I don't think, Isabel, are you on the line here?
I sure can be, absolutely.
Okay, great. So yes, give a wave and just in 2 short sentences, just tell us about yourself.
Sure, that's a task, 2 short sentences. I'm Isabel May. I'm the Writing Center Director at the Writing Center at the University of Maryland, Baltimore. And I'm also an associate professor in the Science Communication program, where I teach courses like basic science writing principles, writing a journal article. So a lot of the material that we will cover in this program as well. And A little bit about myself. My background is not in the sciences, so I'm not a medical researcher or sort of a traditional bench scientist. I'm from Germany originally, in case you're wondering about my accent. So I have a lot of experience personally as well as professionally working with and as a multilingual writer, writing in English that is, not my first language. And I my PhD is in American Studies, so I have a humanities/social science background, but I've worked with writers of a variety of experience levels, all the way from undergraduate, beginning college students to very accomplished and widely published folks in a variety of disciplines. And of course, in the last 5 to 8 years, mostly with folks with a bench science or lab science, medical research type of background. So I'm looking forward to working with you.
Okay, very good. Thank you. All right, so let's go towards the other end of the slide. Maha, tell us about yourself. Give a wave.
Hello, everyone. My name is Maha Imad. I'm a lecturer of physical medicine rheumatology in Suez Canal University in Egypt. I have a master's degree in health sciences with research ethics concentration. And I'm a graduate of the Moretti program, the Middle East Research Ethics Training Initiative. I will be in the teaching process of the research ethics part of this program.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Maha. So let's swing towards the middle. Rahab, tell us about yourself. A few short sentences.
Hey, hello everyone. I'm Rihab Abdelhai. I am professor of public health at Cairo University in Egypt. I will be working with you on the research designs and initially how to choose an appropriate research question and following on to choosing the design and moving on to that. A little bit of my background. I'm a public health specialist. I've worked as a technical officer in WHO for 3 years. And I really enjoy research a lot. I've done a lot of research and I enjoy the process itself. It's a very beautiful process. It keeps you thinking all the time. It makes you bring in new ideas, and it's nice to contribute to the general knowledge in the area of science that we are working in. So I hope to work with you all, and I will really enjoy doing that with you. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Thank you, Rahab. So once you've done the research and you have all these data, we have Sama here who will help us analyze all of that data. Sama, say a few words about yourself.
Hello, everybody. I'm Samar Sami. I'm an associate professor of epidemiology and biostatistics at Alexandria University, Egypt. I have a special interest in clinical research and statistical analysis. I'm a Merit graduate, not yet graduated, but I'm a Merit student, batch 2018. I will be with you in helping you to choose the best statistical approach to deal with the different data and to help all the problems of the collected data, because unfortunately, we always have a lot of problems and we need to fix it because we don't get rid of any data we have. I'm so happy because I will be with you. Thanks, Dr. Henry, and thanks to all the team.
Okay, very good. Let me say one thing. Sama will make sure your data are statistically significant. How's that?
Yes,
okay?
Yes, definitely.
Well,
it's my job.
it's a job to do that. Thank you. So I don't think we have Tama on the call. Tama is a person also to help us out with research ethics and research methodology. And then we have Zena, and I don't think she's on the call as well, and she will also contribute towards research methodology and research ethics. Anybody else on the call who would like to say something at this time? Okay, so we have a wonderful faculty who will help you walk through the research process, again, from A to Z. Okay, so that's our faculty. Let me say a few words about the program. We have a blended learning program consisting of virtual live sessions, face-to-face sessions, and then asynchronous learning as well. So we have face-to-face workshops, virtual workshops. We will have webinars about once or twice a month. And then also in between the workshops, we have asynchronous learning on our Moodle platform, which consists of collaborative activities, including discussion forums, group projects, and interactive videos, as well as writing assignments. So again, this slide shows the structure of the program. We have 3 workshops, first one virtual, hopefully the second and the third face-to-face. And in between the workshops, we have what I would like to call collaborative learning. We learn from each other. And so we'll have webinars, as I mentioned before, once or twice a month. Those are live webinars. But the major portion of the program, in addition to the workshops, are asynchronous online learning on the Moodle platform. Again, that will consist of discussion forums, group projects, interactive videos, and also writing assignments. And again, the key is to nurture a online community, and so that we could engage in collaborative learning. The application submission, let me say a few words about that. We want your CV. We want to know what you've been doing with yourself. We want a personal statement stating your goals and how will this program advance your career. If we know that, then we would know how to individually help you reach your goals. Now, because this is a program dealing with writing and critical thinking, we want to see some evidence of English proficiency, either by having gotten a degree from an English university, a writing sample, maybe a published paper, or your scores on the English proficiency test, the IELTS or the TOEFL. Again, we're happy to address this issue on an individual basis. So the requirements to be successful in this program consist of attendance at all 3 workshops. If you're entering the whole program, if you're entering the program in the second block, then essentially attendance at the relevant workshops that you have signed up for. We expect completion of the assignments and participation in the discussion forums. And also, we would like to have you attend at least 75% of the webinars that we'll have once or twice a month. Now, in terms of tuition fees, it's $7,500 for the entire program, or $2,500 for each block. We realize that this is expensive. Having said that, we have tuition reduction for individuals coming from low and middle income countries. The tuition reduction could be as much as 75%. When you apply, when you submit the application online, there will be an opportunity for you to tell us if you're applying for tuition reduction, and we would want to have a personal statement with you addressing your financial needs and again, how this program will advance your career. We're happy to take more questions about the tuition fees. I would also like to remind everyone that this program is being accredited an international accreditation by IACET and approximately 30 continuing education units for each block. So again, this is an international accredited program. So with that, I think I have said all I wanted to say, and I'm happy to entertain any questions at this point.
Yeah, someone is asking, do we need to have a valid IELTS results?
As I said before, we'll take that up individually. There's different ways to demonstrate English proficiency. One could be an IELTS or TOEFL, or if you have graduated from an English university, we would accept that. Or if you have a writing sample, published paper that you have written, we would take that. Or we would have a Zoom call and assess your English proficiency that way. So there's many different ways we could do that. We're not requiring people to run out and take those exams, mainly because we're short on time.
What about the scope of the research that people joining could conduct? Are we talking about biomedical research mainly, or could be in other domains?
Okay, good question. We deal with all the different types of research. It could be quantitative, it could be qualitative, or even if you work with cells in a petri dish, okay? The research process is the same. The question, hypothesis, scientific objectives, analyzing the data, and writing up the paper. We would welcome individuals who are doing bench work, quantitative work, qualitative work. So any type of research.
Henry, can I say a few words about the writing portion of the program?
Yes, absolutely.
Excellent, great. Hi, everyone. Sorry for coughing. So you notice, and Henry Silverman was talking about how science writing and scientific writing is going to be woven throughout the program, and that's certainly true, right? Because you have to write at every stage of the research process, but it's certainly going to get a little heavier and more focused towards that last workshop where let's say hypothetically you've gone through the research question process, You've gotten feedback from a different faculty on which is the best methodology. What are you've in the meantime amassed some results that you're interpreting with the assistance of our faculty, figuring out what's the best way to present the data possibly. And then the focus really is on, the public writing for publication, which is quite, as you all know, because many of you are already published researchers or working on publications. It's quite a labor-intensive process, and it's particularly difficult, and I speak it from my personal experience, to do this in a language that might not be the language that you use during the research process. When you're working in the lab or in your research team, you might use a different language. You might even speak English at home, but again, academic English is a whole other, and is sort of the standard English that is expected of us as researchers in publications takes a lot of practice to become efficient in. And so that's what this program is designed to support you as well while working through a particular product, a particular data set that you're working on, that you want to produce a product at the end, namely a publishable manuscript. So we'll talk a lot about towards the later end about the IMRAD format, introduction, methods, results, and discussion, and what are some of the common standard rhetorical moves, meaning the common ways that most writers who are publishing their work use to present their results in the discussion. How do they introduce the topic? There's certain formulas, so to speak, to use a technical term, that we're gonna review and look at a lot of examples and practice throughout our sessions. And then you, of course, get to apply that when writing your own manuscript. So there will be writing and application process throughout those 3 sessions, but there also, especially when it comes to the writing, there'll be some work that you're going to be doing in between each of those 3 sessions. If you sign up for all 3 sessions, that you'll get some feedback from me on, as well as from the other faculty on the different pieces in terms of methodology and developing a research question and so on. So you'll really get this full 360-degree kind of experience, as Henry was talking about earlier, from taking a question that you have, or maybe even you might not even know what you want to research. You might have a couple of ideas, but you're not really solidified what you actually want to research. That can be part of the process at the beginning as well. But you can walk away with something very tangible, and that will result in a publication, or will support you in that process as well. There's usually a session that I do around the publication process where we're going to look at the different steps that lead to publication, demystifying the process a little bit, but also looking at what to do once you get the feedback from the reviewers. And for those of you who have published, you know what I'm talking about. It's a difficult and humbling experience to suddenly then have to take other people's feedback and apply it and address it in your manuscript. And doing that can be quite a juggling act, as we say in the United States, like you're juggling the balls, like you're juggling all the different reviewers' comments. So we'll work on that as well, because that's an important part of the writing process that actually takes a good chunk of time. So unfortunately, once you've done your first manuscript, that's not the end of the story. That's really sometimes that the story actually begins, and we want to support you with that as well. So we're going to work towards that and continue and be there every step of the way with you. So it's exciting. I'm very passionate about writing, as you might tell. And those of you who have done my workshops in the past know this. And so I really love to share the kind of knowledge that's out there on how to effectively produce scientific writing with you and enable you to become, the best communicators that you can be about the topics you're passionate about.
Thank you. Thank you.
There's a question in the chat, Henry, about to what extent will support be provided beyond the publication of the first manuscript? And I don't think we have really thought about that yet, have we? That's a great question, by the way. So I think our focus so far has been on getting to that manuscript coming out of your participation in this program, right? Going through the whole research process. what that would look like afterwards. So I'm just imagining, let's say you have a large data set and there's more than just one publication. I like that, a community of publishers. That's an interesting question. And Henry, I don't know if you have any thoughts on that. That there might be sort of a a 2.0 version of this after that. I'm not sure. I don't think we've thought about that. Henry, any thoughts on that?
Tell me again, what's the thought?
Somebody was asking to what extent will support be provided beyond the publication of the first manuscript? In other words, creating this community of published authors coming out of this cohort that would do this program together.
That is a good question. I would like to take the same concept, attitude in the Moretti program, in the sense that we think of our graduates as now being postdocs, where we would continue, depending on your individual goals, we would continue to work with you. So again, let's say you haven't published your paper after the first year. We're not going to say, well, a year has gone by, sorry. We're going to work with you until you get that paper published. And then even afterwards, as you were mentioning, a community of writers, I like to see lifelong, what I'm trying to say is, I would like to see us develop into a community of colleagues and friends where we could continue to help each other with our careers. So I even though I haven't thought about the structure after that would occur after the program, but that is definitely on the table, to try to nurture a community of researchers and writers. We could all meet again at a conference. We would help you present your abstracts as well at conferences. We want to, again, develop you all as good researchers, scientific writers, and critical thinkers. Right, lifelong learning is what we aim. And we want to do that in a collaborative fashion, a community of individuals who wants to keep on investigating phenomenon. Good question. Give that some more thought. Right, yeah, someone's asking a question about workshops 2 and 3 in person. As I indicated in a somewhat maybe ambiguous way during my presentation, we will deal with individuals on a personal level regarding workshops 2 and 3, regarding transportation costs. If it's an issue about time away from your country, we could certainly understand that. If there are issues about costs, we could see if we could come up with some additional monies. Push comes to shove, if there's no way to attend the workshops first to first, obviously there's we would try to investigate putting on a virtual program as well. We we are here with trying to investigate solutions for this program, and we will work with everybody on an individual basis. I mean, it could be that the second and third shops will have to be held virtual as well because of the pandemic. You know, still a lot of questions about the pandemic. Don't get me started, you know, with the vaccines themselves and social distancing. Unfortunately, the pandemic will still be with us, hopefully starting to subside in the next few months. Right, yes, the cost to the buy might wipe out your travel funds. Okay, we understand that. Having said that, I want you to realize that the conference in Dubai is in June, which is the low season because it's very hot in Dubai. So it could very well be that we won't hold it in Dubai. Again, we would work with people with these workshops. We thought that we wanted to build into the program an opportunity for people to meet face to face. If there are financial time constraints, that's not going to be a what I like to say a deal breaker for this program. We I like to think that we're very flexible, especially in the first year as we try to work out all the different logistics that we will need to deal with. Thanks everyone for joining. Everybody else have a wonderful, depending on where you are, have a wonderful evening, morning, day, whatever. Everybody be well and continue to stay safe from the pandemic. Okay. Bye now.
Everyone.
Bye. Bye. Bye.